Okay, I thought I would elaborate on the comment that I made on the end of that last video with the V for Valentine's Day. Okay, the 14th of February. The reference in V for Vendetta with the Scarlet Carson that is used. Okay, um, there's several tiebacks to what is going on here and right now and what's happened with Donald Trump and everything else, okay, and this use of the Scarlet Carson in V for Vendetta, okay. So we had Melania Trump dressed up in an inauguration with the outfit that kind of looked like either the Hamburglar or V from Vendetta, okay, and obviously people made the connection back with Donald Trump's winning the election on the 5th of November. Okay, remember the 5th of November, and there were some other tie back ins, but this tie in is to do with this idea of leaving this rose, and of course Valentine's Day traditionally, you send somebody a dozen red roses or whatever. Okay, so this tie in with Valentine's Day now with the V for Valentine's Day rather than V for Vendetta. Okay, could that be a clue? Well, the Carson spur is mentioned in Back to the Future. Okay, which is kind of interesting. I think it's the Carson spur, which is interesting with the idea of a thorn on a rose. Okay, we also had the seal reference, which has the rose referenced in the song. We had that seal reference in the Super Bowl. We had that advert with seal, and obviously on the dollar bill we're dealing with the two seals, okay, that make the Stargate. Then we've got other references to this. Obviously Carson City is the capital city of Nevada. Okay, so this linked back to the Hoover Dam again, and back to the Future and the Hoover Dam. And remember, the 5th of November, I was just showing you how you got the 213 in here. Okay, because this Lone Pine Mall should really, if Marty hadn't have screwed up the past, this should be Twin Pines Mall. Okay, so this should be a 2 here, so this should be 2134. This is the first 4 digits of Lucas numbers, so we got our 213 in here for the 13th of February, and we've also got this 4 in here, which kind of ties us in with 214 as well. Yeah, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Okay, so this is very interesting. Again, he rolls down the hill. And I'll just go back to the chart of Lorraine so we can see this as well in the chart of Lorraine, why this is interesting. He rolls down the hill 213 and then witnesses the jump back that he makes originally, which would be 135. And so if we go back to the chart of Lorraine, we can see here's our 134 that's on the sign, and our two trees make the 2 here. Okay, well, it's not very good trees. So our 2 trees actually form our 2 reference for 2134. Okay, and then Marty makes his leap back at 135. He witnesses his own leap back as well. So he's rolling down the hill at 213 and witnessing his leap back at 135. So this is really interesting. We just had Super Bowl 59, and I showed you all this stuff, and then there's Trump 47 there, and we're going around in circles with all this stuff, okay? Anyway, if we go back to this a second, so that's how you got the 213 there, and we've got Dr. Dre referenced here, okay, 213, and again, if you come back to the first sign, okay, which has our 9/11 reference on it, and this is the 2, the Twin Towers, again, the 2 that makes our 213 in the other sign. So you have to use both. You have to use both signs to get your 213. I know this doesn't make much sense and it's really waffly for people, but if we backtrack just a hair here, you'll see that we have the remember the 5th of November here as well, which I said that also ties into the idea of Donald Trump's rebirth, and obviously Guy Fawkes and all the rest of it, and now we're tying back to V for Vendetta here. Okay, so there's quite a few little bits and pieces that tie us back with V for Vendetta, and I'll show you just one more thing in Back to the Future. Okay, well, I got the front of it. Oh, and I'll show you just one other thing to top this off in Ghostbusters. Okay, if you watch the channel regular, you will have seen me do all these references before. Where have I got it? Here we are, the start of Back to the Future. So this is one that people pick up on a lot. This is an 88 finished and porous catch here. And this is, if I go backwards now, hang on, let's go backwards 5 seconds. Okay, let's go again. And again. Let's try that. See if it'll get me back to where I need to be. Okay, so this car, for Mary, okay. Remember that Mary in its simplest format, which is M, is 13, okay, the M. So for the Hospice Maria, we have the M and then an A. So that's an M, which is 13, and then the A is 1. So 131 again is important with the Hospice Maria. Also, you can just kind of abbreviate Mary just to MA as well. And again, I think actually that's more to do with the balance of, you know, Adam and Eve, basically, Mary and Adam. So the A and the M with the Hospice Maria, again, I believe MA is kind of more referencing that. But again, whatever you want to do, you've got a 13 here, or 131, right? And then you've got the 4 here as well, FOR, but again, we could use the number 4 there. So we've got 4 and 1 3. So we've got this 134 again, or pi, or again with our reference to 213 4, which is quite interesting that Donald Trump didn't just say 213 and then just just finish it there. He added the 4 in as well before he changed the numbers. So we've got this moving into, go forwards, this. Now at first glance this doesn't really mean much, but this 437 is again it could be another reference to 2134. Okay, let me show you why. So get that in your head. 437, right? Come back to this chart of Lorraine, and there's no really 437 in here, but we know that these numbers here were important with what we were just looking at. Okay, so 2134 is right here, and then you can reverse that as well with the 1 2 3 1, or the 2 1 3 1 here. It's the same digits, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, 132 231 213 312. Okay, and then we've got the 4 on the end. Let me just show you the reduced format here. So 13 is a 4, 21 is the 3, and then this 34 is 7. So there's our 437 that is on that number plate there. It's re-referencing these numbers again. Okay, super duper interesting, right? And if we move on just a hair bit more, we'll see the next little bit of reference with this. Come on. Okay, and don't forget we're right under the 9/11 sign as well, right there. So this is all the background of this is well important. And then you'll notice this is Cupid's adult store here. Okay, so this reference back to Valentines as well with the Cupid. Okay, super duper important. we just had a reference to, I'll just talk through this because I just can't be bothered to go and pull up pictures and everything. It's all in the back catalogue years ago now. But this reference to the penny, yeah, Donald Trump wants to get rid of the penny, yeah. So the penny was originally obviously made of copper, and obviously copper is atomic number 29. Okay, and again, copper. Arizona is the copper state. Nevada is the silver state. Okay, and then you got to move on to the golden state. Okay, I guess that's probably California. I'm not sure. Probably. Okay, so there's this progression from Arizona on up. Okay, just like at the Hoover Dam, we was between Arizona and Nevada, and then we're going to move on up to the Golden State. Okay, but this copper reference, yeah, 9/11, Space Odyssey, 2001, all those references in there. Odysseus, his return home involves shooting an arrow, yeah, like Cupid, shooting an arrow. The heart is the balance point, the center point of the body. Shooting an arrow essentially through the bullseye, the heart, or the vesica Pisces, if you like. Okay, and it's actually an axe head, the eye of an axe head, I believe, is what he's shooting through. So it's a vesica Pisces reference. But this is what Odysseus has to do when he returns home to prove himself to Penelope, to prove who he is. Penelope's his wife, okay? Penny, Penelope, yeah. Penny, returning back to Penny Lane. Okay, it's just stuff that I've done videos on before. Penny, okay, balance is 29 in our chart of Lorraine, okay? 29, when we just had the Super Bowl, this is a balanced number, okay, for these two numbers. Okay, the 1/8, kind of a bow reference as well. I don't want to get into it right now, but so those are the ideas there. You know, the idea of Cupid and Valentine's Day and shooting this arrow, and Dave Bowman, David Bowie, Odysseus, all the same idea, shooting the arrow. And 213 is 50 days on from Christmas. Yeah, the bullseye is 50. Okay, in the dartboard. Okay, super important stuff. I don't know what else to say about this. Okay, so there's that reference. Okay, and Back to the Future here. That 437 is another reference back to, potentially back to Lucas numbers and the 213. Okay, moving into, and then I'll show you this, moving into the end of the world. This is Ghostbusters 2. Okay, and I talked about this other date that's in this scene, which was New Year's Eve, which is actually when the Hoover Dam reset on 326. Yeah, was it 236 or 326? 236. 236 was the numbers for the Hoover Dam. Okay, I want to say it was 23,600. I might be getting the numbers around the wrong way or something here, but basically it was 23,600 days old, right? Which means on New Year's Eve, which means that those last two digits, the 00 on the end of that number, is now matching up with the day of the year. So it's almost like it's a reset point. You know, we had the key bridge thing with the same numerology, and we also had the 444 of one of the eclipses, from one of the eclipses, the 14 of October eclipse. That was exactly 444 days previous to when previous to New Year's Eve. So we had this 444 match up with 326. Okay, and in this scene here, that's the date that is used as one of the end dates. There's two end dates given here in this world of the psychic. Okay, bloody hell, this has taken a while to get to the bottom of this, Dan. Okay, but let's listen to this prediction here, right? Okay, listen.
According to my source, the end of the world will be on February 14th in the year 2000.
We don't need the year, 2016. February the 14th. Okay, now what's interesting about this scene is this starts off, and what you'll notice is this backdrop here, very reminiscent of the idea of the Hoover Dam here. Okay, or a dam, but you know, that's what we're going with, the Hoover Dam. Okay, this big wall that's bowed. Okay, again, the bow and the arrow. Yeah, the Hoover Dam, the bow and the arrow's got to shoot through. Okay, and it's the Vesica Pisces. That's where the arrow's got to shoot through, and the arrow is man coming out of that thing. Okay, right. So there's your Ghostbusters 2. Obviously, there's a ton of reference. I've just done loads of stuff on that before. Was there anything else to mention in this one? No, it's the V for Vendetta. Yeah. Okay. It's, here's his send off here. Yeah. When everything's gonna blow up, and he's got all these roses around him. Hello. V for Valentine's Day. I feel like I've forgotten something here. No, I'm just going to leave it there because that's probably long enough anyway. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on another one here pretty soon. Alright, cheers, bye.